If you were to ask yourself how much you love your job out of 5, what would you say? How much has my health, weight, and confidence slipped over the last few years? How much is related to work stress? In the morning, how much do you look forward to the day ahead? And do you ever get that burning feeling inside that one day you'd like to launch something online, whether it's your own online course, product, coaching program? And the goal here is more time freedom, financial freedom, eventually location freedom. What the hell, Mr. G's, they're making so much noise. In this series of videos on my channel, I'm gonna break down how anyone, no matter what age you are, can start a side hustle online business from scratch while doing their 9 to 5, and then have the dream one day that will turn into your big thing, your big adventure, and something really, really meaningful. All right, so today in this episode, we're gonna create a blueprint of the 3 things that you would need starting off from scratch. So diving into the blueprint, number 1, you need a brand and a set of interests that really are meaningful for what you're gonna create online. So number 2, you then need traffic. So YouTube is incredible. We'll go into a lot of detail about that when we get to the traffic video. But the thing with YouTube is YouTube lives on forever. When you have content on things like Instagram, it's just there in your feed for a few seconds. And then you're lucky if anyone sees it. No one really searched for that content. And then it disappears, kind of, and rarely ever to be found or seen again. Whereas YouTube will keep on feeding you traffic and views for a long time. When I say traffic, I'm talking eyeballs on your views on your content that you create. And this will convert to sales later on. Number 3, this is where it gets really cool with the hacky kind of stuff, is where I went wrong is I ended up creating a whole bunch of products, recording videos for hours and hours, maybe even months. And then those products didn't really go anywhere. They overwhelmed me. I didn't quite finish them. So you can actually pre-sell and waitlist things and products before you have even created them. That is probably the biggest hack of this whole series. That it's hard. It's a hard lesson to actually learn and do. You don't even need a website, believe me. Mine just went down. I'm not putting it up yet, maybe later. You just need single web pages, which makes this so much faster. You don't have to worry about all that stuff online. And you don't even need a product to launch, as we talked about. You can pre-sell something before it's created. And this blueprint is something that you can actually launch something in 2 or 3 weeks. Not only that, I created a free blueprint on a software called Miro, which allows you to whiteboard out and vision out exactly what you want to create. So I created a beautiful template for you. I always had a dream inside, probably from a really young age in my teens, definitely, that I always wanted to build something and do something special in this life, not just follow the regular kind of boring path. When I was younger, actually one of the best ever decisions and experiences of my life was choosing a risky path. At that time, maybe 22 years old, I was offered I was working in a 9 to 5 and offered a relocation to a different position. Or me and a buddy, a business partner, could start up a brand new tech business. And all I remember is taking that second choice. And next minute, I'm sitting there on a garden chair on a cardboard box with my laptop and creating websites just on a garden chair in an office. And looking back, that was a decision, a risk, that actually changed dramatically and positively the whole direction of my life. Actually, that 9 to 5 choice in that office would have been the thing that kept me stuck and stagnant for years. It would have stolen all these adventures for me that were actually priceless, some of the best adventures of my life. A few years later, after grinding so hard, work hard, play hard, we ended up selling the business to a company in Canada and moved to Canada as a result, ended up meeting a girl, getting married, having a kid. We're not married anymore, but still so grateful for this incredible adventure that may have never been. It also led to being able to get on the housing ladder and afford a place in one of the most beautiful places in the world. It really has been the adventure of my life. The last few years I've been doing some 9 to 5 jobs that I'm feeling like they're not as fulfilling for me. I'm feeling like a hamster wheel. As adults, it's really easy to get stuck in this 9 to 5 Groundhog Day situation just to pay the bills and thinking that is, just how it is. That's the norm of we just have to grind. Many of us are soul-sucked and feeling unhappy, maybe even depressed. Getting to some raw truths. This is a third of our life unhappy, just to pay the bills. Time is a really important thing to look at. Where do we spend our time? How much time distracted? How much time sleeping? How much time in our 9 to 5s? And you realize that we spend a third of our life sleeping, and then we get to choose. That's the really interesting thing, is most of us assume that we have to take this left approach, this 9 to 5 work, that most of us, let's say 90%, dislike. It's a small percentage of us, and Then there's the entrepreneur path, where why I love this path is because you really get to follow your passions, you really get to create and sell your own things that you're passionate about, and you get to create and decide your own time freedom, your own financial freedom, and even location freedom. The key point here is we have these choices every single day. Right now, you have these choices of where to go next. Even worse, Dino Ambrosi's TED Talk research said, out of our remaining time after a third sleep and a third working, shockingly, we choose to spend 95% of our spare time staring at a screen. And it's growing. That's insane to me. And I'm concerned for our kids. Recently, my father, diagnosed with Parkinson's, I got to go see him in England. And he's been in the hospital for 3 months. Seeing him there for the first time in a long time was so special to see each other. And it gave me a lot of wake-up calls, just seeing all the elderly gentlemen laying in the bed around us in the room and seeing what they were going through. And on the flight back, I couldn't help but think the reality is, if we fast forwarded and we were laying on that bed, elderly, looking back, or even an illness had hit, and we were looking back at imagining we were 20, 30, 40, 50, or even 60 again, and we had a chance to reinvent the direction of our work, the direction of our career, would you still choose to continue the 9 to 5 that you're currently in? I think most of us, it's because the other choice of doing something different is scary. Would you, for instance, take less money to exchange that for a job that brought you more happiness and a bit of meaning and fulfillment? Take the amazing opportunity to build something online with the internet right now and AI. It's the greatest chance we've ever had in our life. And that whole last few weeks with my dad, seeing my dad and my daughter's mother in a horrible car accident as well, and myself getting sick with pneumonia, it seemed like there were so many wake-up calls. It's like there couldn't be more life messages than no matter how old you are, there's no time to waste. 9 to 5 these days are not as stable as they used to be, and you're often treated like a cog in a machine that if you left, everything would happily move on without you, no problem. We're trapped forever in a time for money scenario, i.e. salary or hourly wage. Cost of living actually usually rises more than our salary increases over the years. And I think we know this, and so there's this constant trap of grinding to climb the ladder and get promoted or something like that, but we still can't keep up with the cost of living. But probably the most important thing here is not only do we grind up the ladder for promotion financially, but we often sacrifice our happiness, time, and very often our health and fitness. I see a lot of people struggling off the back of unhappy work with their health. And sometimes this impacts our family. Even as much as we're trying to provide for them, our unhappiness can spread to every area. A lack of fulfillment, lack of meaning, feeling lost, feeling unhealthy. We all know about anxiety, and when that becomes chronic, leading to depression. So am I just saying like 9 to 5s are bad? Absolutely not. 9 to 5s have actually been a wonderful part of my journey, developed so many skills, met so many amazing people. There's so many wonderful opportunities and jobs, first responders, doctors, teachers, researchers, scientists, tech leaders, all doing incredible things in this world. So it comes down to this: you better enjoy your job, you better get some kind of fulfillment over it. It's a third of your life. One of my favorite impactful Disney shorts called Inner Workings, it also haunts me in a very motivating way. I'll never forget going into a sales tech meeting in New Jersey Walgreens, seeing all these cubicles lined up, and I remember walking through them and people were literally pressing buttons on the keyboard, staring at the screens. I remember so many people eating giant bags of chips. But more importantly, I remember not seeing a smile anywhere. And I remember feeling like how that was sucking my own energy and happiness away just being in that environment. When I watched that short, Inner Workings, in my 40s now, it actually hits me emotionally and deep. Perhaps the craziest bit of all, fear actually stops him doing everything throughout his life. He's scared of doing the things he's excited about. And his mind tricks him, his brain tricks him into all the ways he's gonna die if he tries new things. And it's very relatable, this irrational fear of dying. But then the guy gets so depressed by pressing his button at boring and glum company for his whole life, avoiding all the fun things, that he has no soul left and literally walks and climbs as he gets older into his own grave. We never think about it. There's little doubt that the side effects of an uninspiring 9 to 5, the damage is not 40 hours a week, but it will eat away at your energy, your sleep, your relationships, your mood at home, with your partner, with your kids. And so what happens is you'll need escapes. Most commonly, social media, junk food, drugs, alcohol. And so we stay stuck and trapped in that 9 to 5 as the safe option. It's far from safe. Just feeling like your work creation is something that you love, excites you when you wake up in the morning, builds meaning and confidence, and that is everything. It may be your escape from anxiety and depression, creating something exciting of value to other people. Right now, without any doubt, is the greatest opportunity for anyone, no matter what age, no matter whether you're not techie, no matter whether you've got a 9 to 5, to create something online, something that you're really passionate about. The thing is, never in the past could you advertise to 100 people for free, even 1,000 people for free. Never could you, in a coffee shop, for example, take your laptop, in 2 or 3 weeks, following something like this blueprint, create an online business, pre-sell a product, and create content on something like YouTube or Google that can reach thousands, and if you do well with your content, hundreds of thousands of people for free, organically. This is crazy, the opportunity that we all have that we're scared to take. Anyone can do this faster, a lot faster than you think, and the reason why we don't is because our own bullshit and excuses get in the way. But the thing is with the 9 to 5s that we're always going to be in this time for money trap, same actually as freelancing, as where we are getting paid for our hourly time, essentially, whether it's a salary or whatever. Whereas entrepreneur, we can get in the same kind of trap, so we have to charge a lot more for a one-on-one service to someone else. But where you can absolutely rocket and accelerate online is by creating programs, digital courses, group trainings, where your time is then duplicated to lots of people. In the case of a digital course, you could sell that course in your sleep, even without your time after you've made it, like a product that keeps on selling and generating income for you. So you are no longer in a time for money trap, and you just gained freedom and money generating in your sleep. So we want to focus on courses, online courses, products, group trainings, and systems. So what can I create online? Well, it's actually really simple. You must create something, trust me, on your passions, your interests, your experiences and fascinations, something meaningful to you. If you don't, you never have the energy to make this last, and you'll just be grinding in pain that feels similar to a painful 9 to 5. The selling part just becomes so much easier when it's something you're passionate about, so you can just do it naturally without having to fake anything. So put really simply, the selling part is just about offering people value in exchange for skills and solving their problems. Coming from England, it was always the case that selling was a sleazy thing, you got that dodgy kind of car salesman thing. And I realized this is just the same old kind of bullshit that we grew up with, and it never gets let go and it sticks in our mind. When you're selling a high value product for a really good price that is massively valuable to the other person, selling is actually serving, helping them climb the ladder of whatever they want to do. Selling is serving. And the other thing, one of my favorite mentors, Dan Coe, says, if you're not selling your own product as an entrepreneur, you're working a 9 to 5 to sell someone else's product anyway. So you're always selling. We're all selling. Put easily, you can start imagining creating products and content on your most meaningful interests and areas. Could be anything from singing to helping with technology. My brother wants to do a snooker course. My nephew wants to do a mountain biking channel. Someone else wanted to do photography. Someone else wants to do some kind of life coaching. All amazing. So what formats? Well, an online course sells without your time for years and in your sleep. You can do weekly, monthly group Zoom trainings. You can do a products, app, framework, software, or system that you can sell over and over again, then release new versions of it over time. You could launch with a micro or mini course that you can create very easily and quickly. People love these and love the low cost, or maybe it's even free. You can do a free challenge, 3-day challenge, for example. You can do one-on-one coaching. That's a bit more time for money trap, but still a good way to start out. You can publish your own book on Amazon. That takes a lot of time and dedication, or you could publish a smaller book, a micro book, an ebook. And of course, you can then sell physical products, such as I would love to make a habit planner, physical journal. And let's look at online courses. So my nephew at 22 years old has a really, really amazing, passionate mountain biking channel, and he's rocking it. He's doing unbelievable. Like, all the traffic is there, the views are there. He got over 1 million views on some TikTok video about doing bunny hop. He's just absolutely steamrolling it. I'm so excited for his future. He side hustles with his 9 to 5, like so much time video editing, creating awesome epic videos, and has built up such a great following This is jhurstmtb on TikTok and YouTube, by the way, so go check him out, see what he's up to. And when we got together last time in Canada, he was talking about a dream to sell, firstly, online bike courses. We were tossing around the idea of online courses as a way for him to create a business out of his hard work and his passions. And also one day he'd love to create a sports clothing brand as well. Let's talk about selling a book, product, or service for a minute. Recently I worked with the creativelifebook.com team with Jess Hughes, amazing entrepreneur that has just absolutely smashed it from zero a few years ago to being in Forbes magazine and rocking it. And we created a whole marketing campaign on her team to launch her book launch, which was #1 seller in multiple countries, multiple categories, and just absolutely smashing it. With many artists and authors going from zero to now absolutely flying online. Again, it's proven so many times. Let's talk about a mini course or a challenge, for example. A few years ago, I created a productivity and mindset course in 3 or 4 days maximum. Like all the videos from start to finish, had it launched, had it sellable, hooked up to payments and everything in 3 to 4 days. Now I'm a tech guy, so I can accelerate this stuff and I can help you do the same thing. But that was insane, and it was a challenge for me of what happens when you set a deadline of how fast you can actually move. And I love moving really fast and taking perfection out of the picture. There were so many mistakes in that course. I even had my daughter kind of like randomly coming on the video, and it was actually quite sweet and amazing how imperfect it was. And I remember getting the first sale the next day. I'll never forget a guy called Bobby, and he loved the course, couldn't believe how cheap it was for the values. And my friend Max, martial arts personal trainer, just launched an amazing online fitness nutrition program. Like I took part in the trial version of this, lost 22 pounds. I did a YouTube video on that. It was absolutely amazing. Got really strong and fit. And he created this from scratch using YouTube to generate traffic and in-person talk as well to also generate for his fitness program, which is launching right now. This all works. This all works massively. And the biggest hack here is distraction and focus. If you can master that, you can create things at this 11x speed. The way to do that is steal back hours of your own time from social media scrolling, morning laziness, Netflix distraction, drinking too much, junk food, being lazy. You know, in an experiment I did, uninstalling Facebook and Instagram on my phone started this year, saved me 20 to 30 hours a month at least. When I eliminated a lot of other distractions, gave me back 20 hours a week. And I can start to put those into focus time towards building. And so I actually created a whole system around that in my new branding called Momentum 11. So that is the whole Momentum 11 productivity system. I'll talk about that in another video. Okay, but as my brother said to me recently in England, what if I don't have a skill? What do I create? My mentor, Dan Coe, says, here's the thing. If you don't have to be the leader in a space, you only have to be 2 steps ahead to be able to help someone. If you've learned a valuable skill or solved a popular problem, you have something to sell of value to someone else that hasn't solved that problem yet. This is about problems, solving problems or getting skills. That's the value, that's what you sell. For my brother, his passion, he brought up snooker when I asked him, and instantly we were thinking, despite him not having a snooker table right now, fair problem. He could create something amazing like snooker for beginners. My nephew could create mountain biking online skills and maintenance camp. My epic friend Jesse, coaching people through life's tough challenges, some one-on-one coaching, some group coaching. Or my friend Matita wanted to create a iPhone photography online course for anyone to get going with photography on their phone. The great thing about online is you can find a market, niche, or audience in anything. You only have to be 2 steps ahead on a problem to qualify you to sell a product. Better yet, you actually have advantages over the top expert in that field starting out. You can offer cheaper prices, more time and attention to your customers. The top expert can't afford to do that anymore, can't afford to give attention. You can give TLC and attention to your audience and customers when starting out to get the ball rolling. People crave that people-to-people, personal and caring, authentic connection, and they can't get it with the big players without spending many thousands to get into, special groups like masterminds, which often cost 20, 30,000. All right, my friends, it's time for the high-level blueprint. And so with the blueprint, I created a free version for you on software called Miro, which is amazing. It's a online whiteboarding tool. So it's really important, rather than a long document for this blueprint, this is a visual map, as you'll see on the screen here, of 3 main things that you need to create to get launched. So once you have this blueprint, everything will suddenly become a lot more real. So go download the blueprint now. you can follow along in this series of videos as they launch on YouTube, or maybe available or straight away if you're watching this back. And you can go through these videos. The blueprint also has video tutorials for free in there for you. Here's the 3-step blueprints. The 3 sections are, firstly, your 3 passions, which are gonna help you create a personal brand the easy way online, and also generate a list of problems in that space. Really important, this section 1. This is almost like your research to make everything else easy and to know exactly what you're going to create online. Section 2 is all about traffic and your content. So I massively recommend a combination of YouTube and add on something like Twitter if you can. And section 3 is essentially your business. So you need 3 things. You need 1 page to sell a freebie. You'll create a freebie. We'll talk about that more later. You need an email list that grows. This is essential for future value and money in your business and gives you complete control over your customer list. And you'll need 1 more page when you're ready with a product that isn't created yet, but a powerful offer. So this is pre-selling or waitlisting a product that you're gonna create that you're passionate about to test if it's gonna work. That is the 3 sections of everything that you need. That is the blueprint I am building right now for myself. All right, so this is how the series of videos is gonna work. So come back on my YouTube, or if you're watching back, it may be available already. Episode 1, this video is around that high level, how to grab your blueprint, get set up, follow the videos on the template, and you can start creating and filling in things on that template right now. Episode 2 will dig into section 1 and go into detail around how to create those 3 passionate interests, how to build your brand and your problem list. So episode 2 will be coming out in the next few days. So subscribe and you'll get the notification for when that is out. Episode 3 will be section 2 around creating your content, how to set up things like how to use YouTube and X. And there'll be some hacks in there and a system and a strategy of what I think and what I'm using as the best way to launch. Traffic is everything. If you can solve that, the rest is easy. And then episode 4 is all around structuring that business. The 3 things we talked about: the email list, creating a freebie, and creating a product that you're not even going to create yet. You're going to pre-sell and waitlist it. So it's around creating that 1-page offer that is absolute gold. So in a few weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks, you can have all of this ready and launch if you dedicate some time along with your 9 to 5. So hit subscribe and hit the bell, and that way you get a notification of when the next videos in the series come out, or go, if you're watching this back in the future, go find them on the channel and go through them one by one. Remember, the template has the videos inside there for you as well, with lots of extra details, hacks, and tutorials as well. In each of these videos, episodes coming up, I'm gonna dig into the strategies, the hacks, the things that save me so much time in each section, so that you can bypass and skip those things. All the things like not needing a website, not needing product to launch, and how to get launched really, really fast, get rid of perfectionism, things like that. Really, really crucial, saving you a lot of time and money. I know people have spent so many thousands on building a website, and there's gonna be a lot of gems from amazing courses that I've purchased, spent thousands on, that I wanna share with you that are really, really gonna help, such as traffic, for example. How to borrow authority when you're first starting out is one of the best approaches that I'm gonna be using this year. All right, so at this point, you may get the idea of what you need to do. We need to create a plan, create a blueprint, create a set of interests, create some content on YouTube and X, we're gonna talk about that later, and then create 3 things in your business. An email list, which is gonna equal a lot of money in your future if you do it well and that email list keeps growing, a single page to sell a freebie, not a website, and a single page to sell and pre-sell or waitlist a product that you're gonna make. So maybe you get the idea of all this, but you're starting to feel a bit overwhelmed of how the hell do you do this, and saying to yourself, that gut feeling again, I'm not techie, how can I build all this? Well, as adults, we are all so frequently in our head all the time, like thoughts running the show, questioning ourselves about everything, pulling back, being scared of so much that we shouldn't really be scared of. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And it stops us from building, it stops us from doing a lot of action. And here's the thing, here's the funny thing, as Dan Coe said, something like this, something like being an entrepreneur, starting a side hustle, starting an online thing, is supposed to be overwhelming because it's brand new. It's not what we're used to. It's out of our comfort zone. And so it will be overwhelming. And that is exactly how it should be. Adults have 10, 20-year-old patterns saying things like, I'm not a techie person, I can't do tech, I'm too busy, I'm too tired, I'm too old, too scared to go on camera, don't like the way I look, don't like the way I feel, don't like the way I sound. That was me. Like, I hated the sound of my own voice for 37 years, and then when I started doing it, it became easy. things in our head. It's all about our head, what 90% of people are trapped in. And as a result, if we don't enjoy our 9 to 5, we're going to be trapped in our 9 to 5 time for money trap forever. Facing rising living costs, trying to climb a ladder that we don't even actually want to climb. The fear of change is greater than actually trying to build something new. And these are repeating thoughts. They're just repeating thoughts. These beliefs are just repeating thoughts that go round and round and round until we stop them and interrupt them and start to build and do something new, start to think something new. And that's a choice. As Alex Hormozi said, all these things are skills. Learning the tech is a skill. Learning how to record on video is a skill. And if it's a skill, it can be learned by anyone. Look at those statements. I'm too busy is possibly the most common bullshit by all of us that pops up all the time. I try and stop and catch myself every time it comes up for me now. I'm too busy actually could be rewritten as the skill of prioritizing what is important to you and the skill of not easily being distracted, i.e. the skill of creating a plan and sticking to it. Most of us never even create that plan. Time will magically appear in bucket loads when you eliminate a ton of distractions like social media, Netflix, morning, phone, scrolling before you even get out of bed, doom scrolling all day long. When we kind of do all this and spend so much time on our phone and we say we're too busy, at the cost of building something that we really, really care about. I'm too busy to build that thing that I really, really care about. What are we actually saying to ourselves? It's kind of crazy. It's actually more just about the fear and the ability to prioritize our time and eliminate distractions. If you are overwhelmed by something exciting, that is good. That is what this should be. It's out of your comfort zone, it's scary and overwhelming, and it should be. That's perfect. If it's not overwhelming, you're not getting out of the comfort zone. Most people scare off and retreat back to groundhog life when this happens, but you're different. If you create the plan, break it down, you'll realize despite the overwhelm, it's all possible when you have a plan and a blueprint, and faster and easier than you think. Most people don't act. To solve all these bullshit excuses fast, there's one thing that you have to do. Create a visual plan that you see every day, stick to it as much as possible. Every time you go off track, get back on track, and then create confidence and momentum by doing 2 or 3 reps on the most important things every day, i.e. focus so much more on action than thinking and planning. Also consider getting accountable with someone, helps a ton. So what's your first steps? In this video, grab your free template from the link, watching the video in there that will guide you through from ABC, step by step, what you need to do to start filling out the first part of that blueprint. Subscribe and watch the next episode on our channel here, which will dive into detail in the next episode about section 1, which is your interests, your brand, and your problem list, which will help you always know what content to create. And I'm sharing everything, my full experience, my mistake, full transparency with you. I hope you want to build something along with me on this journey and we can do it together. We got this. I'll see you in the next episode.